All righty, I'd like to adjourn the Board of Education closed session at 7 o'clock and reconvene the regular Board of Education open session also at 7 o'clock. Roll call will show all board members and staff are present, as well as our new student representative, Maritza, who comes with a fan club. And now we will go to item 3, the Pledge of Allegiance. The pledge will be led by students from Mayflower Elementary School. Principal Michelle, if you want to come on up and introduce your students, please.
Okay. Well, this year at Mayflower, we are very excited to offer 2 programs that build leadership capacity in our students. Our Peace Patrol program has existed on campus for over 20 years and supports positive conflict resolution among students at recess. Our student Peace Patrol officers receive conflict resolution training, and through their work with others, they support a positive school culture and grow their own leadership skills. We also have our Renaissance program this year, which is growing, and we are thrilled about that. Under the guidance of our 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. McDonald, we will have 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students growing their leadership skills through organizing celebratory activities and also providing service to our school and our community. So tonight I am pleased to present to you 2 of our members of Renaissance and Peace Patrol.
Hello, my name is Maya Chang, and I'm a member of Mayflower's School's Peace Patrol.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Joyner, and I'm a member of Mayflower's Student Council.
We are here to lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Will you please stand and face the flag?
Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Good job. Good job. Thank you for being here tonight. Come on, Principal.
I'm doing Dennis.
Item number 4, we're going to administer the oath to our new student representative, Dr. Throzine.
Having a student board member is really a privilege for this board because the student voice is at the center of all that we do. And so we are delighted to have Marissa Zubiotti, join us today, and she's going to follow along. So raise your right hand and state your name. I, Marissa,
I, Marissa,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I will take this obligation freely
that I will take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations and welcome to the Board of Education of the Monrovia Unified School District. Marissa, and I might have noticed you seem to have a fan club here. Would you like to introduce anybody?
Yes. So, will my fans please stand up?
That's awesome.
All right. This is my sister Madeline. It's my twin. This is my best friend / cousin, Carolina Macias. This is my bodyguard, Rolando. This is my other best friend, Gabriela Macias, and this is my tia, Martha. And then that's my fans.
Welcome aboard, Marissa, and fan club. Your bodyguard doesn't smile, does he?
I don't know. I don't think we take one. Item number 5, report on the closed session held this date. The board met to discuss some personnel issues, but no decisions were made. And order of business, do we have any changes to the order of business?
We do not.
Item 2, approve the minutes of the regular board meeting of August the 23rd. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions? Ms. Huff?
Board Member Rich,
Yes.
Board Member Hammond,
Abstain.
Board Member Williams,
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland,
Yes.
Board President Wong.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Recognitions and communications. The Board of Education would like to recognize the students of Wild Rose Elementary School for their acts of service and commitment to literacy in the lives of their students and families. Dr. Throsian?
Thank you. I'd like to amend the recognition to recognize the teachers of Wild Rose Elementary School who have, for years, contributed their service over the summer. And I see that Dr. Miller, their principal, is here who could tell us a little bit more and invite the team up. This is truly extraordinary.
Good evening, President Wong, members of the board, Dr. Throsian and cabinet, and our audience. Last year, I got a chance in the summer to attend with my team as they did their annual program, which was to, on their own time, go down to the apartment complex on Duarte Road and spend time with their families there and give them a chance to read with the children, do crafts with the children, and make them excited about Wild Rose School, reading, literacy. And this program has been going on several years. And so tonight, I would really like the team to tell you more about the program. And spearheading the program is our wonderful 4th grade teacher, Terry Espinosa. And with her tonight is her husband in support. And so, yeah. Here he comes too. He volunteers as well, Rich. And Gloria Ruiz, who also teaches 4th grade, and Anna Gonzalez. And so Terry's going to tell you a little bit about the program. There's about 4 other teachers who traditionally have attended, and this is a real special way we are giving back to the community, or they are giving back to the community. Terry, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Terry, and I'm living proof of why you don't always want to volunteer for things, because then you just end up doing it. And what happened was about 4 years ago, our then principal, Stacy Ayers, said, let's do a reading program using our library. Let's open the library up during the summer. And I'm sitting there kind of thinking, but we have a whole bunch of kids that come from Duarte Road apartments, and we know they can't get up here, and it really is far away. And I said, hey, would it be okay if I got some teachers and we went down there? And she goes, sure. And so there we were, setting up tents, putting out tables, and the kids came. The kids would just come. And so we're now going into our 4th year. I have a wonderful team that goes out with me, really any volunteers. And these are some of the pictures, but I don't know how to, do I have to? Oh, just this way? Oh, here, I'll let you help, sorry. Anyways, these are just some of the pictures of the things that are going on. Kids just sitting around and reading. And this year we had $500 worth of books donated to us by Monrovia Reads. We came in, and the neat thing was the kids came and we said, we've always told them, take the books, and usually they've been like hand-me-down books. These were brand new books, entire series, and the kids would come up with one book. And we'd say, no, go take more books. And they're like, more? Next thing we know, they're walking out with the entire series in their hands. And so we were really excited that we were putting books into their hands and that they were reading. You can see it's making an impact on the parents as well, because the parents are realizing that these teachers are coming out on their own summer vacation. And we're hoping to send the message that reading is important. So anyways, more and more pictures. We have an art program going on. Miss Lomelin was sitting on the floor and just doing art projects with them. We had other teachers just reading to them. We had Miss Ruiz doing bead projects. I believe that's Miss Ruiz on the, and we're sitting in the courtyard there of the apartments, and it's not very glamorous. I'm looking for donations of pillows and stuff so that the kids aren't sitting on the floor. And there's all our books stacked up. We had tons and tons of them. The kids didn't know what to do with them all. We were really excited about it. And there is Miss Langdale just doing a one-on-one reading, and the kids just sit there. This year we had a lot of fun because I decided reading a recipe is part of literacy and reading, and so we found out how to make ice cream in a bag. So we literally set up a table, and we were teaching them how to read the recipe, and it was so cute. They would sit there with a bag of ice cream, and they would just read their books and listen to the teachers, and they're like, can we do this again next year? So we have to top ourselves next year. So, and then just more and more pictures. Just wanted to let the school board know what we're doing, what some of your teachers are doing during the summer months. That was a picture of, anyways. There it is. Thank you, Monrovia Reads, for your generosity, and thank you so much for my friends at Wild Rose that are coming out and helping me. So that's it. Thank you. Anna Gonzalez, if you could come up, and Gloria Ruiz. We have a whole team, but some of them were sick and some just couldn't make it back. So there are quite a few teachers that go out. Thank you. Thank you. Come into the middle.
While everyone's moving to the middle, I want to go ahead and share the names of the teachers who also contribute to our Berry Reading program. Jenny Tubbs, Maria Lomelin, Paula Langdale, and Mindy Cobb. And what they didn't tell you was at the end we had so many books, and putting all the books back in the cars were difficult. So one of the mothers said do you think I can hold some books for parents who didn't attend? And we said yes, and they were so excited.
I just want to say thank you once again to those teachers. You know, this is really what makes Monrovia Monrovia. Teachers who come out on their own time and try to find the people that they can help because they can. So thank you once again. Item 2, the Board of Education would like to congratulate the graduates of the ROP Summer Mentorship Program. The program provides academic and technical skills to students in various areas of the healthcare industry. Dr. Throzian?
I'd like Katie Chick to tell us a little bit more about the program. She's here and she is so enthusiastic about it, wouldn't do it justice.
Thank you so much. I have the chance to work with a lot of the students because I'm the job developer at the adult school, so they'll come to me for help with their resume or interviewing techniques. But just to share with you a little bit about the City of Hope and the program. City of Hope and ROP set up this mentorship program to provide high school students with an on-site education and observational experience for the purpose of exposing them to a variety of professions in both the healthcare and research environment. Students from surrounding communities were matched with available opportunities based on their preferences. These students gained insight about career offerings and options and gained firsthand experience from an array of professionals aimed at helping them to consider their educational and career opportunities or options. I attended the graduation at City of Hope in August and was so proud of the comments that the staff made about our students. And it's just amazing to see these kids have that kind of an opportunity. So I'm really happy to recognize them tonight, or that the Board of Education is recognizing them. So if I could first have Alexis Kimes join me. And we have some students that graduated, as Alexis did, but she hasn't left for college yet. Cal Poly doesn't start till 8. But some of them have already left for college. But we have Isabel here tonight. Come on up, Isabel Vargas. Oh, yeah. I didn't see her. Oh, there she is. And we have, is Ava here tonight? Ava Martinez, we'll get that to her. And we have Valerie Valenzuela, come on up. Congratulations, great job, here you go. And then Janai has left for school already, so thank you so much. We'll have pictures.
I hope he's come back soon.
Board President Bryan, I just want to make a quick comment. I had an opportunity to be in the midst of these beautiful young ladies and Mrs. Katie Chick, who I think is awesome. And just some of the accolades were so humbling. I sat on stage with the school district of Duarte, elected officials, and every time a student came up there from Monrovia, it was just so awesome. So congratulations. You make us proud. Sincerely.
Item number 3, the Board of Education would like to congratulate the graduates of the Youth Employment Services Program, the YES program, on the completion of their summer internship program. The YES program, in partnership with the City of Monrovia, provides paid summer internships to students and equips them with soft skills necessary for employment. Dr. Throzing?
I'd like to invite Katie Chick to again tell us a little more about the program.
More jobs, so I'm back. This year marks the 10th anniversary since the Youth Employment Service Program began in 2007, with nearly 150 of our youth graduating from the program since its inception. And I would have to stop here and just thank our very own, but then Mayor Rob Hammond, for starting this program back in 2007. I think it came together on a napkin, but it's here and we love it. And
It was actually on a plane over the Gulf of Mexico. But that's-
on a plane, writing it out, I think, yeah. But we're so happy that these students have had this opportunity. Each year, the students leave better prepared to join the workforce after having the opportunity to work in a professional environment on projects that further the city's mission to serve the people of Monrovia and help create a community that offers a premier quality of life. And this year was no exception. We had an amazing group of kids. And tonight we have Brooke from the city. As she worked very closely with the students, she's going to share a little bit about this year's program, and then we will have the students come up. Thanks so much, Brooke.
Hello, good evening. Thank you, members of the school board, for having me. My name is Brooke Pudich. I am a recreation coordinator for the city of Monrovia. This past summer, I was lucky enough to oversee the Youth Employment Services Program. This is the 10-year anniversary of the YES program, which was the brainchild of then Mayor Rob Hammond. The main goal of the program is to provide job training and job skills to Monrovia youth. This year, we received 54 applications. There were 28 students that were selected to interview, and 10 were accepted into the program. The interns were placed with 8 different city departments and 1 outside partnership that was formed this past summer with Oakcrest Institute of Science. The internship lasted a total of 9 weeks and included a 1-hour training every Thursday. These trainings included topics that covered basic computer skills, public speaking, customer service, and proper workplace attire. The program concluded with the interns presenting a 15-minute long presentation on a project that they worked on or about their experience in each department. As a city, we did our best to place the interns in positions that were most desirable to them, with the hope that they would obtain real-life work experience and where they would gain the most knowledge and experience. Our hope is that the interns take their experience and use the skills and knowledge they gain to be successful in school and with all their future endeavors. The YES program has benefited from the many partners, Monrovia, which include the Monrovia Unified School District, Monrovia Chamber of Commerce, the Santa Anita YMCA, and the Boys and Girls Club of the Foothills. We thank you for your partnership and look forward to next year. At this time, I would like to introduce our YES interns who are here with us tonight. Sure. Okay, first up, Layla Spicer, who worked in our Public Works Department.
There you go. Congratulations. No, stay
Next up is Sophia Marquez, who worked with our at Fire Station 101. Sorry.
One more. Sure, it's here. There we go. No, one more. There's a lot of M's. There you go.
Next up is Francis Jimenez, who worked in our city manager's office. Next is Zelda Pacheco, who worked in our community development.
I'm good. Here we go.
Next up is Isabella Orta, who worked in our finance department. Next is Gabriela Macias, who worked at Oakcrest Lab. Next is Gabriela Fajardo, who worked at Oakcrest Lab as well. I would also like to recognize Nantar Ferris, who worked with our passport and at the front counter of the community center. She's not here with us tonight. Also, Peyton Dickinson, who worked with our library, and Sage Magana, who worked up at Canyon Park this summer. Thank you.
Just a real quick comment, if I may. As a way of background on how the YES program started, as it was said, I used to be the mayor of the city of Monrovia, and I attended a function in Florida for the U.S. Conference of Mayors. And as we were going through the seminar, it became obvious that one of the ways that you could help make your community stronger was making sure that the youth in your community had opportunities besides just hanging out during the summer. And statistic after statistic was pointing out that employment gave not only the opportunity to do something besides hanging out, it started building those life skills that we all know and are good for us. There isn't anybody in this audience who doesn't remember their first job and how it felt to get that first job. And so what we were looking at as the city was how to attract the people that we would like to get into the program. And they were not people who were the high achievers at the high school. It was actually people who were on the bubble. Maybe they make it and maybe they don't, to show them a different way. And over the years, it's evolved, but that's the genesis of how that program started. And I want to thank the city of Monrovia for continuing on. It's not cheap, but nor is it cheap for us to have to take and deal with people who are just hanging out. And so if you get them in a way that is a productive manner, then it's like an old commercial that used to be on TV about you could change the oil in your car, or you can buy a new engine. It was your choice. Well, we chose to change the oil, and which case is we'll give our students and the people in our community a vision of what it could look like if you, bless you, if you stay in school and prepare yourself for what future may look like. And that's how the YES program started. That was the genesis of it. I'd like to thank Tina Cherry from Monrovia Public Works, who's in the back. I'd like to thank the city council and the mayor for continuing this on, and Oliver Chi. I'd like to thank the school district, because without the school district, as good as that program is, they wouldn't have anybody to enter the program. So we're an integral part on what makes the success of the YES program, and I'm fortunate to be sitting on this body now. But that's how it started.
Thanks, Rob. It was a great program 10 years ago, and it's a great program today. So and it's and by the way, you could pay me now or you can pay me later. So just in case.
Sorry.
The Board of Education and the Chamber of Commerce would like to congratulate the following employees on being the recipients of the Monrovia Unified School District's Employee of the Month for the month of September. Dr. Throzian.
Thank you. This is a wonderful opportunity to recognize the individuals responsible for making sure that this really is an extraordinary community of learners, and they are staff members of people who work tirelessly on behalf of students. And so I will turn it over to Dr. Jackson, who will invite a few people who know more about each of these exceptional staff members.
Thank you, Dr. Tarosian. Board President Wong, members of the board, this evening we're honored to recognize exceptional classified employees of the month for their commitment to our community, the district, and most importantly, our students. In recognition of their service, they will receive tokens of appreciation from the Board of Education, the Chamber of Commerce, Foothill Federal Credit Union, Imprintability, and Doubletree this evening. With that said, I'd like to invite David Conway, Director of Fiscal Services, to recognize Diana Lee.
Hello, board members, district administration. Hello, everybody. I want to introduce Diana Lee, who's been my assistant since I got here. And what can I say about Diana? She's been at Monrovia since 1989, so almost 30 years. And I think of her as being the Fiscal Services Department at Monrovia. When I started here, Diana was already making sure that everything in fiscal services was running properly and everything was accounted for properly. And along with Linda Dempsey, she basically trained me in school district accounting. I really appreciate her for that and for all she's done since I've been here. Any question or problem I present to her, I can count on her to come up with a solution, and it's usually better than anything idea that I have. And if I go to her desk and ask for information or analysis that I think will take a few hours, and to get her together, and I tell her, get this to me by the end of the day if you can. And then half the time she's back at my desk before I even sit down, and she's got it ready for me. So I really wouldn't be able to do my job without her doing her job so well. She does what needs to be done, and she's a leader in our business to service department. I've relied on her for almost 20 years to make my job easier, which is what she's done every day that she's been here. And she's definitely Employee of the Month, Employee of the Year, and Employee of the last almost 30 years. And by the way, many of you know Diana will be retiring next month. So I've been telling her she's not allowed to retire. But she's ignoring me. Something about spending more time with her adorable grandkids and her husband. And I guess no matter no matter how much I beg, she's going to be going. So we're going to miss her a lot. And this is a very well-deserved honor for you, Diana. And I appreciate everything you do for us every day. And the students at Monrovia and your fellow employees are very lucky that you're working here and working hard for them. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And well deserved. And you have goodies. I assume these are for you and not me.
Okay.
Okay. And there's your certificate. And there's some flowers for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Say something?
You got like 2 more. They're just, yeah, do them all at once. They're clearly excited.
Yes, been here so many years, and it's about 28 years, and it's really hard. It's a hard missed feeling. I like to leave, and I hate to leave also too, but I think it's about time. And I'm very happy that I've been working here for so many years, and I have learned a lot because with the great leadership here, that I have gained a lot and learned a lot too. So thank you, everybody. Thanks.
Okay, we'll continue on with the Business Services Department. Connie Wu. Will Dennis Rios join us here at the podium?
Hey, Dave, we're going to get pictures after with everybody.
Yeah.
Dennis, come here. It is with great pleasure that I take this opportunity to acknowledge Dennis Rios as a director, as a district employee of the month. Dennis is our leading groundskeeper, and he has been with the district over 7 years. Dennis is well respected by his fellow peers, as he is a hardworking individual who takes great pride in his work. He is always cheerful, humble, upbeat, and positive, and is always eager to assist any way he can. Dennis leads 3 groundskeepers, and he has established a great working relationship with his crew. Here he has a peer groundskeeper here with Kevin, and also our former ground lead, James. So nice to see you guys. And furthermore, Dennis and his crew have done a great job of making sure that our school looks great, especially when we start in school year. This honor is well-deserved by Dennis, and then we really appreciate Dennis' effort and contribution to the district. Thank you, Dennis, for the great job you did.
Nobody said public speaking was involved here. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity that Monrovia has given me, and thank you again.
Don't go far, Dennis. Okay, and finally, representing the after-school program director, Tom McFadden and Sarah Roscoe, will you join us?
Yay, Sarah. Board President Wong and members of the board, along with Dr. Tarosi and members of the cabinet, first of all, I want to thank you for giving us some space to recognize all these amazing employees who come back and dedicate their lives in some form or fashion to us, to the students and staff and parents and families of Monrovia. I was so excited to see our friends from Wild Rose and some people from the high school here, because Sarah, along with many people, is a proud graduate of Wild Rose and Clifton and Monrovia High School. So it's just a testament that if you go through our system, at one point you could be the employee of the month here in the district. Sarah graduated from Monrovia High School in 2002 and went to Citrus College for a year, and then began to work for the Village program in April of 2003. She describes her first year at Monroe as She was proud to have the opportunity to work with amazing students, and she knows she's making a difference in the lives of the students in the before and in the after-school programs. When the students come back to visit her year after year, she really enjoys that, as we all do. While working for Village, she's had the opportunity to work with some great people, form some wonderful friendships, and she says she absolutely loves working with the kids, which I know that to be very true. It's rewarding that she knows that she can make a big or a small difference in the lives of our students. The students have described her as kind, funny, and a good mom, whether she's the mom of them or not. She has that nurturing aspect to herself. Our staff has described her as creative, organized, and an amazing room setter-upper. She's been at Plymouth now for many years. We lean on Sarah in a lot of different ways. She's not only an amazing activity leader, but she's been a sub-site manager. She's been a sub-program manager. She's gotten the call, as I have, very early in the morning to cover in different aspects for the morning program. So with that being said, we just really appreciate and admire the work that you do. Proud Monrovia High School graduate. So big round of applause for Sarah Roscoe. And now you get to practice those skills that you learned in high school, public speaking.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure working for Village, and I really enjoy it. So thank you.
If you all will join us up front now for a photo op.
Once again, I'd like to thank all of our employees. These are the people that make this district work on a daily basis. Without them, we would not be who we are. Item number 5, board member reports. Mr. Gillen?
I just want to say a couple of words. Well, first, Board Member Hammond and myself attended a lot of things this last couple of weeks, but one of the things that I want to report on is the back-to-school night at Clifton. And I've got to tell you, to me, that one ranks up among the best. I think Clifton, once again, has set the bar really high. The opening speeches, the introductions, half the program was done by the students themselves. And then they had an excellent little video to help the parents know where to go and what was happening and to show what was going on at Clifton. And I think the staff and the students just did a great job over at Clifton. The other thing I'd just like to mention is we were going through the awards here, and it made me realize there are a lot of people in this city that think, oh, summer, school's out. But there is so much going on all the time in this district. And we just kind of highlighted a few things. The mentor program where students get the opportunity to work with one of our corporate partners to get skills and learn about the job place. The guest program with the city and corporate partners where they actually get work experience and even get paid for it. That takes time to set that up. That takes time and staff dedication to put the partnerships in place. to get the right kids into those programs and to make it happen. And I appreciate all they do. And then you also saw those elementary teachers that come in on their own time. One of the things that we've faced for a long time is how do we stop the reading slide during the summer? They're at a reading level and a math level when school lets out, and then they come back in August. And that level has gone down because a lot of the kids don't get a chance to practice all summer. These students are making a difference in life. I mean, these teachers are making a difference in students' lives as they help them, and they help the parents understand how important it is to read through the summer to keep those skills up, and so they can hit the ground running the first day of class. So kudos to our whole staff and everybody that does so much to make our schools so great and to make this city a great place for our students. So thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Gilman. Mr. Williams?
Yes, Board President Wong, I just wanted to acknowledge the Monrovia Day at the fair. Board Member Gilliland and I had an opportunity to witness our outstanding middle school with regards to the hippie bots, as you can see on the photo there, included the excellent teachers along with Mayor Tom Adams. It was truly a wonderful event today. It was beautiful weather. We were outside, and they were really the talk of the entire event. In addition, I had an opportunity to go to the college fair last night. It was at Monrovia High School, where 60 colleges were in attendance. That included the Army, the Navy, and the Marines. It was received very well, I thought, because obviously our objective is to prepare our kids for the future. But it was an overwhelming amount of kids there, and it was just so wonderful. And I'd like to also extend a thank you to the Premier College Guidance for their facilitation.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Now we'll have item 6, the school board member report. Ms. Zubier?
Hello. So 2 weeks ago was our Club Rush Week, where we have over 20 clubs participate in activities and recruitment. As Mr. Williams had said, our college fair happened last night. It was a good turnout. We had a lot of people from Arcadia coming in too. ASB is hosting our first of 3 blood drives on Thursday, September 21st. Our next home football game will be Friday, September 22nd at 7 p.m. in our Wildcat Stadium. During halftime, Renaissance will recognize all scholar athletes from 2016 and 2017 school year. A scholar athlete is a student who has a 3.5 or higher GPA during the time they played on a varsity team. ASB will also be hosting their first rally of the school year on September 29th. Our homecoming game is on a Friday, October 6th, and we will have our annual fireworks show during halftime to announce our Queen and King. Homecoming will be on a Saturday, October 7th at the MHS Event Center from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Information about athletics can be found at MonroviaWildcatCountry.com. And the New Humanities Academy is hosting a fundraiser at the Ice House on Thursday, September 28th. Ticket information, you can contact Ms. Van Dyke at Monrovia High School. And that's it.
Thank you very much. Item number 7, report from the superintendent. Dr. Thorozzi.
Thank you, President Wong, members of the board. There are 2 individuals that I would like to introduce to you today who are rounding out the Monrovia Unified Leadership Team. The first is Jane Nichols, who is sitting here in front, and I'd like Jane to come to the podium so that we can talk about her and have her tell us a little bit about herself and maybe about the fan club she's brought with her today.
Jane, before you say a few words, may I precede you?
Sure.
Having spent a good amount of time interviewing and searching for a capable and competent candidate as principal of Bright Oaks, I thought And we've spent a good amount of time over the course of the interview process, so I thought it would behoove me just to say a few words on our newest principal here in Monrovia. In May, some would say as a district, we were presented with an insurmountable task of finding not one, but 3 elementary school principals. And somewhere by the end of July, we had closed a deal on 2 elementary school principals, which left Brad Oaks, our community, our students, parents, and teachers a little on edge as to how we could round out this trio for our students that we would be serving. When we held our parent meetings and our staff meetings, there were a few qualities that they were looking for that I just wanted to share this evening. Someone that was highly capable, an established and seasoned leader, someone who would just laugh a little and have some fun, a visionary, and probably most important, someone who loves and cares about kids. And so standing here today before me is Miss Jane Nichols. And so I say to the Monrovia community, the Board of Education, no task is insurmountable for those who work here in the Monrovia Unified School District. So with that said, Jane Nichols, the newest principal of Brad Oaks.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here. I can't even begin to express myself on that. I have brought with me, I was going to tell you he's my bodyguard, but the audience is gone for that. So with that, I'll tell you, this is my husband, Don Nichols. And I will tell you though, yes, my husband of 25 years, amazing. I love him. Anyways, he's my personal help desk. He's the one I call. That's the kind of the joke of my teaching career. Back at 20 years ago, I'd call him, hey, how do you do this and stuff, so with the computer. So he's my go-to guy for a lot of things, more than just that. But anyways, I am so proud to be a Monrovian. I have lived here 6.5 years. And then before that, when we were first married, was it 2 years? 3 years. And then life gave us a little adventure, and we came back 6.5 years ago. And I am just so proud, listening to all the accomplishments and what our city and what our school district does. I am just ready to get in and be a part of this awesomeness that we call Monrovia Unified School District. I'm in my second week. Learning my community and my staff in Brad Oaks is an amazing place, filled with wonderful staff. I have one right there. So anyways, so thank you so much for this opportunity, and look forward to working with you all. Thank you.
And the second person I'd like to introduce is Larry Cross. Larry, why don't you come to the podium? And I know that Connie Wu has a few choice words for you, sir. Welcome. Truly, we are so delighted to have Larry join our team. He brings with him a breadth and depth of experience that we can certainly use. Thank you.
I know it's more effective to find a Jim, but it takes us a while to find Larry. And starting November in the last school year, we tried to recruit, and then I told Dr. Torrenson that I determined that I need to find people who fit the team, can lead the team. And I think I found it, and in the past 2 weeks, Larry's the leadership and his experience did a show. And Larry actually spent his entire career in the facility and construction, and he has over 25 years of experience from the construction to project management. And he spent several years in the K-12 public school as assistant director at the Oxnard School District, as well as the director of MOT at Castro Valley School District, which is in the north. And during that time, he served 17,000 students and 21 school sites. So the first question Larry asked me is, how much is my budget? Because he has $7 million in the Castro Valley. So I told him that let's talk about it. Okay, because if Larry can drive the big school bus and bring 10,000 students from Castro Valley, I'm pretty sure the board will approve me giving him a couple $1 million budget for the facility. So that I can confidently say that. And we are so happy for Larry joining us. And Larry lived far away from us, but he loved us, and he was willing to spend time with us, and then staff already enjoy him be here. So Larry, you want to say some more?
Well, first of all, thank you. I guess I really brought the house down. The house is packed. Well, first, let me thank the cabinet and the board for approving my appointment to the position. I appreciate it. I look forward to making a difference. I am a firm believer that the maintenance operations and transportation departments and classified in general, we're the support to the district. We support the teaching environment, and it's a very important thing. So I take it seriously, and I love my job. There's one interview question that is haunting me, which I plan on changing the answer to, which the superintendent asked me. You remember what the question was? What do I know about the district? And that was a good question. It really was. And that's something that I am taking seriously, and I'm learning as fast as I can. So thank you for that question. So again, thank you, and I look forward to serving the district.
Larry will give you a long time to find out, Mitch, about Monrovia, because there are many, many layers, and it really is a pleasure to have you on board. Both you and Janie, welcome. Welcome to the Monrovia Unified family. We are delighted to have you both. The final person I'd like to invite to the podium is Bill Sheaf from Rotary. Bill will present just a little bit of information and is reflective of the strong community school relationships that we have, and I think he has some very good information about how we can continue to contribute.
Dr. Throsian, board, it's good to be here tonight. My name is Bill Sheaf. I'm past president of Monrovia Rotary Club and co-chairperson of Move Monrovia, which advocates for the active transportation in our beautiful city. My thanks to Board Member Hammond for inviting me to share 2 invitations with you. Regrettably, my fans and bodyguard couldn't be with me tonight, but I hope you'll enjoy something, and I'm going to show you anyway. The first invitation is to the Rotary's Rise Against Hunger event on Saturday, November 4th at Monrovia High School Old Gym. The event runs from 9 a.m. to noon. I believe we have a 2-minute video ready to run, which will say a lot more than I can. This will be the fourth year in a row that Monrovia Rotary Club has sponsored this event at Monrovia High School. It has grown each year by popular demand. We're very grateful to the school district for allowing us to use the facilities at Monrovia High School for this event. Everyone who participates in the Rise Against Hunger event, young or old, leaves with a sense of community, feeling that for a few hours they have made a meaningful contribution to the well-being of children that they will never see. We encourage you to learn more about the event and invite you to participate by attending or contributing to this great cause. If you'd like to do either or both, please go to monroviarotaryclub.com and sign up. You can either contribute, you can show up for the event, we'll give you a pair of gloves and a hairnet, and you can get involved. You'll be glad you did. My second invitation is to join Mayor Adams, Mr. Hammond, our city manager, and members of Move Monrovia and many others for a community bike ride to celebrate the installation of our new Monrovia Bike Master Plan infrastructure. I'm sure many of you have seen the sharrows and the signs on the roads. There will be a short ribbon cutting ceremony in front of the Monrovia Historical Museum at 8 a.m. Saturday, October 21st. This will be an easy 5.5-mile ride, which begins and ends in front of the museum. The ride is open to all levels of riders. The only requirement is you must wear a helmet, and please put air in your tires. All the streets we'll be riding will have received Class 3 bike lane routes, which require that cars and bicycles share the road. This is not a fundraiser. It's just a fun community ride. If you'd like more information about Move Monrovia or the details of the ride, please visit Move Monrovia Facebook page, and we hope to see you at the ride. There's going to be a second, more challenging ride following the first one. It'll be a Do Classic Coffee in Glendora after the community ride, for those of you who wish to stretch your legs. Thank you for your time and for your attention. We hope to see you at both of these events. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that concludes my report.
Item number 8, public comments for items not on the agenda. Ms. Huff, do we have any speakers?
There are none.
Item 9, public comment for items on the open session agenda. Do we have any speakers?
There are none.
Comments may be made at this point or at any time an item is considered at its place on the agenda for anybody in the audience who wishes to speak. Item G, consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have any items to be pulled?
Second.
We do not.
I'll make it legal.
Ms. Huff?
Board Member Hammond,
Yes.
Board Member Williams,
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland,
Yes.
Board Member Rich,
Yes.
Board President Wong.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Item H1, revised Citrus College course offerings for early college program for the high school students, art history and appreciation early 20th century art.
Good evening, Board. The Board of Education is requested to approve a revised Citrus College course description for the early college program, Art History and Appreciation, Early 20th Century Art, as a new course offering for the high school students. In December 2016, the course description for Citrus College Art History and Appreciation Early 20th Century Art course was adopted as part of Monrovia Unified School District's early college program. This agenda item is being presented to update the text being utilized in this class in an effort to be fiscally responsible. The textbook being used for this class was the same one as Monrovia Unified's High School's AP Art History class, however, not the same edition as listed within the course description. This agenda reflects the following revised textbook description. There is no budget implication for this because we're using the same textbook that is already in existence for an existing course.
Do we need to put this book out for public viewing, or
No,
is
because the book has already been adopted. We're just updating the course description.
Perfect. Any other comments or questions?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Huff?
Board Member Williams,
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland,
Yes.
Board Member Rich,
Yes.
Board Member Hammond,
Yes.
Board President Wong.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Item 2, Enrich LA Memo of Understanding. Dr. Kaiser?
Yes, Board, this is an extraordinary opportunity for the children of Wild Rose Elementary School. The Board of Education is requested to approve the Memo of Understanding with Enrich LA for a garden ranger program at Wild Rose Elementary School for the 17-18 school year. And what this program is, it is a program that provides garden rangers, scientists that come and teach science programs utilizing the garden at Wild Rose Elementary School. And it's a farm-to-table experience for the children, so they will be growing edible plants and then being able to taste and eat the fruits of their labor. They will also be studying healthy habitat, stewardship, art, and they'll be doing arts and crafts and language arts activities such as haikus, and learning about soil types, ecosystems, plant autonomy, how to plant, harvest, and prepare food from the garden. This program does have a cost to the district of $5,175. It'll be paid for from the school supplemental and concentration funds. There is in the agreement with the LA Rangers, they also have a grant. The total cost of this program is around $10,000, so the grant portion is $4,856.
Thank you. Comments or questions?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Ms. Huff?
Board Member Gilliland.
Yes.
Board Member Rich.
Yes.
Board Member Hammond.
Yes.
Board Member Williams.
Yes.
Board President Wong.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Item 3, resolution to recognize September as Attendance Awareness Month.
The Board of Education is requested to adopt the resolution 1718-303 declaring September as Attendance Awareness Month as part of the district's goal of learning for all students and in keeping with the goals established in our local control accountability plan regarding improving attendance rates and reducing chronic absenteeism. Educational Services is recommending participating in this Attendance Awareness Month to highlight the importance of attendance to our students and our community.
Comments or questions? I do have a comment. I can't emphasize to the parents how important attendance is. It is the lifeblood of a district. It is what makes things work. And when Ms. Wu gives her report on the actual financials, you'll understand that that's the difference between keeping and losing teachers. So please make sure your children show up. Any other comments or questions?
Just one more. Yes, we need the money. Yes, they need to be there so that we get the money, but they need to be there so they get the education they deserve. So parents, by all means, get the students there primarily so they're there to learn, but also so that we continue to have the money to provide great programs for them.
Thanks, Ed. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Ms. Huff?
Board Member Rich.
Yes.
Board Member Hammond.
Yes.
Board Member Williams.
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland.
Yes.
Board President Wong.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Item 4, resolution proclaiming October 9th through the 13th as National School Lunch Week. Ms. Wu?
Yes, President Wang, Board of Education, and Superintendent Dr. Teresian, Cabinet, and staff, they will request the board approve the resolution to honoring October 9th to 13th, 2017, which is next month, as a National School Lunch Week, to bring the awareness of importance of school lunch program as well as the breakfast. The district child nutrition program are very important to the health and well-being of our children. Research showed that the students who eat breakfast has a positive impact on their daily learnings. The district provided nutrition balanced and low-cost, all-free lunch and breakfast to the students each day. In the last school years, the food service department provided 209,937 breakfast, $436,360 lunches, and 143,491 suppers. So make sure that if you are entitled, parents to go online, fill in the lunch meal application form so that we can process the meals.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Huff?
Board Member Hammond,
Yes.
Board Member Williams,
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland,
Yes.
Board Member Rich,
Yes.
Board President Wong.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Item 5, 2016-17 unaudited actual financial reports. Ms. Wu?
So the board and the district business service department, we closed the 16-17 on district budget. And tonight I just provide a summary for the operation for our financial status for the board.
Sue. Clicker.
This slide shows the summary of our general fund, which is our major operation funding, starting with the beginning balance, the revenue, expenditure, and the ending fund balance. We separated between the unrestricted, restricted, unrestricted, which means that there's no spending requirement. Restricted is mean that we have a guideline by program. There's the restriction how we can spend it. So compared with the revenue and expenditure in the unrestricted general fund, we spend a little bit more than bring in, and then we have a balance in the restricted fund. At the end of the year, we have over $11.8 million in the unrestricted general fund, $2.3 million in the restricted, make a total of $14.1 million in our ending fund balance. For the revenue, we have state revenue, federal revenue, and the local revenue. In the local revenue, we break down the different category. One is the E-rate. Last year, we received over $284,000 E-rate. The other one is the facility rental and the lease. In the category I listed here, we're talking about the rental and lease with the annual lease agreement. On the handout I put on the board's desk, we have a spreadsheet looks like this. This is actually breakdown by each school site. This is the facility rental lease paid by the different athletic program, and the monthly the fee they paid us. We also break down by the vendors. You can see the name of the program and which site and the facility they rent. And also we have less than $10,000 about the delinquent property tax collection. And we also receive some facility use by operating the summer school program paid by the Citrus College. Oh, the number is missing. This is the expenditure general fund. This is the pie, and then the big piece of the pie for the blue area is actually a salary and benefit, and your handout probably have the numbers. And the yellowish, orange-ish color is the books and supplies, and the greenish is the service and the operations. The small yellow is the COP and the capital outlay. So which means that annually the district spend majority money on the staffing and the salary and the benefit. Oh, the wrong direction, sorry. Okay. So this slide shows that actual and the projection. When we request the board adopt a 17-18 budget, we estimate the total revenue expenditure for the 16-17. Now we close the book. We then compare the by June versus August, what's the difference? So for the revenue side, when we close the book, we realize that we received more money when compared with we projected, which is $220,000 more. The $220,000 more is come from a different category. I will be detailed list in the next slides. And then we will actually spend more money for the expenditure side. The reason will be listed in next slide also. So the net is any from the balance compared with adult budget, we are $1 million short. So here's the detailed list. The revenue side, we received the last minute medical administrative service funding. That's from revenue side. And then E-rate reclassification. And the E-rate reclassification is there are two ways we count this E-rate money. We can post the revenue, we can abandon the expenditure. So new guide required us that to put in the revenue side. That's why we reclassify from, move out from abandonment expenditure, move to be a local revenues. For the expenditure side, the 1.5% settlement for the salary increase board approved in July. The general fund cost us is over $500,000, so that is including in the 16-17 salary and benefit, and also the order of the tax book for this year, it is less than $500,000. The other area is the special ed cost is a little bit higher compared to our projection. So that total, and of course we have savings, and then we save a little bit money on the postage cost. It's lower than our projection, and the water bill is less. I think we probably save the water and use less waters. Beside the general fund, we have other small fund, which is adult education, child development, and food service. And we are so lucky that those programs running very well and still self-support. So for last school year, the adult education, child development, food service, each program, they bring more money and spend less. So at the end of the result, the ending fund balance for these three programs is much higher than beginning balance. I do want to bring board's attention that our food service department, we training all the cafeteria manager, tell them that the health of financial situation for the food service department start with each kitchen. So last year, we are fortunately running black, and our cafeteria manager in the high school, she did an awesome job, cut the deficit spending in high school tremendously. And we are the one of the few school districts, the food service department operation without the general fund support. So we're working very hard, and we're glad that our director, Ken Singleton, come back from the year of military service. Then with the increase of the retirement rate for the corpus, the challenge is becoming larger. But we will work very hard to make sure that the food service department still self-support. The other small fund is the deferred maintenance. And deferred maintenance, as the board aware that the state no longer gave us separate funding for deferred maintenance, and the district general fund continue to transfer $100,000 to that program to spend on the deferred maintenance, and just the demand is much larger than the funding. So last year we spent a little bit more money, and we use the any fund balance, but we still have a very healthy any fund balance of over $711,000. Development fee, and as far as the city grow, and we continue to receive the money, and fortunately that this school year we have high enrollment at Plymouth and Monroe because of our dual merging program. We do plan to spend that money because development fee allows us to spend the school side, which has increased enrollment. So because of that criteria, we're able to spend some money for the two school side. The fee-based program actually combined with three programs, which is one is a catering program, the other one is the international students program, the other one is the performing arts program. And as a board, you can see that the last year we bring more money than we spend on this program. So at the end, then we have a $139,000 balance. So the next step is, and we just finished the first month of school attendance. We're going to prepare the attendance rate for the first school month, and then we're going to update our multi-year projection. And the enrollment this year is a little bit higher than our original projected. That is definitely good news. So we're starting with the updated multi-year projection, and then we're starting the discussion for the cost reduction. Last school year, the CalPERS health insurance, we spent $13 million district-wide. So this cost is, before go down, is going to high because each year CalPERS rate as well as health insurance rate eventually will go up. So we're going to, Dr. Turnson and the cabinet were planning the side budget roadshow. So we will discuss the option and the plans. Then we will coordinate with the independent audit to finish our 16-17 book audit and submit by the state by December 15. And at the same time, we'll also prepare the first interim report. So any question from the board?
Quick clarification. Did you just say a budget roadshow? Is that what you were going to prepare?
Yes.
That's what I thought you said. Thank you for the additional information, but this spreadsheet is not a comprehensive list of all the leases and rental revenue, correct?
That's correct. This is only show the board that which sport athletic league rent to our site and how much they pay last year, and the
Yeah, so could you explain the difference between the total on this spreadsheet versus your third slide right there?
Yeah, the third slide, the lease, we have an annual lease agreement with the Suchi Foundation. So it will bring in over $21,000 because they rent our Clifton weekend for their Chinese school. And the Seattle, we have a standard lease agreement with Sprint and the Verizon. So then the summer school is Citrus. This kind of long-term lease we can expect annually, but the athletic league, their rental lease on the per season. So that's why we're coding separately. And per board's direction and the district set aside the lease and the spreadsheet dollar amount, the revenue collected, we will only spend for the maintain, replace, repair those facilities. So that's the difference.
One of the items, the major item you forgot to include on this is the funds from the church.
That's correct. The fund from church, the reason Mr. Wang did not including is a accounting concept. So it's kind of odd since the church rental lease and revenue and expenditure we coded in the enterprise fund. But we think that financial-wise it is kind of enterprise fund, but when the GASB 6.8 requires to accrue the future liability for retirement, if we keep the money in the 63, then give us some odd numbers. So make the long story short is, yes, it did not include in the church. Church's annual income is around $230,000 revenue. We coded separately, and I can show you the actual number we received last year in my update.
I'd like to see that too. Okay. The FC soccer, with all due respect, Connie, forgive me, but I just saw this, so I have questions. How often are you using our facilities for such an amount?
So I think FC Golden last school year, they normally use the Tuesday and Thursday. And the end of last year, they require increase use night from at Monday and Wednesday also, because they have a facility challenge because the organization, the normal rental, they are not available. So we check our schedule, and the high school has the availability, so we let them rental, and then we add the Monday and Wednesday. But during the summer, they also use Monday and Wednesday. But when school started, there's some little bit of conflict of schedule. So we will adjust the date. I believe that one of the Wednesday may be not available.
Okay, so this is in addition to your report?
That's correct. This is additional. It's a different category.
I know it's a different category. I think it would be helpful, though, if you're just going to include facility rental and usage fees, to have it all together so we can see all of that instead of seeing it in 3 different places and not seeing like the church at the MHS revenue. It would be helpful to have it all in the one document. I know you have to call it a different category, but if it's a facility use or rental or lease agreement fee, it would be helpful to have it all on this page.
Yeah, I will do that. The reason I did that is according to our accounting, but I will do my update, I will do one inclusive all the rental fee in one sheet so that the board can have bright pictures.
And that would actually be the study session that we will have at our next board meeting will include these as well as the auditorium rentals and be a far more comprehensive.
Right, but this is part of our
study
unaudited
session.
actuals, and it should just be all together in that report also.
I think the problem was that all of these numbers are included in the numbers that we have, but this is just being broken out because they weren't shown very clearly in the documents that we have that get reported to the state.
It should be broken out altogether.
I agree completely. I mean, it needs to be lumped together regardless of how we report on it for accounting purposes. We'll go into this in detail in our next study session that will cover all of our rentals, our costs, and our charges and our methodology of what we're going to do and how we're going to do it.
That includes our contracts?
And that will include our methodology of contracts. Do we have any other comments or questions?
I just very briefly, Ms. Wood, can you go back and show the ending balance, please?
Sure.
This is a misleading number.
Okay.
One would think when someone says I have an ending balance that I have money sitting there in a big bucket that I can go draw from to go do things. That is not the case here. We have deferred maintenance. We have a huge issue with deferred maintenance. And in fact, in this rather thick book that we have, there's a whole chapter and verse set up to deferred maintenance. It shows that we have about $700,000 and some odd in deferred maintenance, which is probably just a pittance for what it truly is. It's probably in the neighborhood of $20+ million. The fact is that this money that we have here isn't unspoken for money, it just has not been used yet. And so therefore, it's not money left over. I would like to see in our updates the deferred maintenance. I've been asking for a while that we as a board are able to prioritize what we need to get done immediately so that the problem doesn't escalate and become larger. And then every time we talk about budget, we need to have that deferred maintenance number, what we need to expend there with our money so that we can make an intelligent decision about where it is that we are going to do money. I know it comes up, and it's always very important that we are able to contribute to the livelihoods of our teachers and staff. They are the lifeblood of this district, but so are the facilities in which we teach the people and that you are able to do your work. Without those facilities, we'd be doing it in tents, and I don't think it would probably be as good as it is. So we need to address that, and I want to get that number out there so we can start getting it in front of the public. It is a very scary number. And it does nothing but get worse.
Absolutely. These are the reports that we're required to file, and they can be very misleading. For example, the developer fees, in which there seems to be a large balance of $1.3 million. It's because that there are strings attached to that in which we were able to hold off until we had schools that met the requirements, which will offset other expenses. One thing that we did last year, and I know it was a lot of stress on staff, was to have study sessions almost on a regular basis with our board meetings for the sole purpose of doing what Mr. Hammond is speaking about, and that is to prioritize all of our expenses. We can't prioritize our expenses till we understand what our expenses are and why we're doing what we're doing. Nothing stands on an island. We can't do this without understanding what we're doing from an educational standpoint. We can't understand what we're doing without understanding what our staffing and our student needs are. But we cannot do this as we've done in the past at the end of the day and hope things work out, because we're at the end of the rope. We have a $4 million plus deficit at this point in time at the end of our third year. That number cannot stand, will not stand, based on how the state law works. There are going to be some very real conversations that are going to end very poorly unless we have our arms around not only what our expenses are, but where our revenues are and what our priorities are. So starting in next week, we had some timing issues this week, or we would have started this week. We are going to start with facilities and cover most of, if not all of the items that Mr. Williams just mentioned. And we're going to be making decisions on what and why we're doing things. And as Mr. Hammond pointed out, priority is going to be job one for the board, and how to get down that deferred maintenance number, which is an 8-digit number, is going to be tough, considering we have a very large deficit in the third year. But this will be one of our main topics, without a doubt. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Huff?
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board Member Rich?
Yes.
Board Member Hammond?
Yes.
Board President Wong?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Item 6, thank you. Item 6, resolution to establish GAN limit. Ms. Wu?
Yes. Board, California, we passed the Proposition 4 back to 1979, and that proposition basically required the government agency, including the district, establish a maximum appropriation limit. We also call the GAN limit. There's a formula to calculate that. And for the 16-17 fiscal year, our district GAN limit is $35,169,152. And then for 17-18, we also calculated the GAN limit, which is the maximum spending the district can do, is $35,445,821. This is on the proceed on the tax. And the GAN limit is an old proposition, and it's just a procedural, and it is no longer play major role for the district financial. So this is just an adequate requirement for the board approval.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions? Ms. Huff?
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board Member Rich?
Yes.
Board Member Hammond?
Yes.
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board President Wong?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Item 7, reappointment of Lupe Davis as Personnel Commissioner. Dr. Jackson?
Yes, Board President Wong, members of the board. In keeping with procedures to appoint the Board of Education's appointee to the Personnel Commission, as the personnel administrator, Mrs. Lupe Davis informed me she was willing to accept reappointment for another 3-year term. As you are well aware, Mrs. Davis has served as the board's appointee since 2001. assisting and ensuring that our classified members provide quality service and support of our students. Therefore, the Board of Education is requested to publicly announce its intention to reappoint Mrs. Lupe Davis as the Board of Education appointee to the Personnel Commission and to set October 25th, 2017 as a date for a public hearing regarding the reappointment of Mrs. Davis.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. And just for some housekeeping, in the background, it says her current term expires December 1st, 2014.
2017 as a typo.
Just for the paperwork.
Yes.
I think the agenda
Duly
is
noted.
correct, but
But this item.
The backup paperwork.
the actual backup is incorrect.
Yes.
Yeah, I would just like to say, before we take the vote, thank you to Ms. Davis for all of her hard work. I think she's done a fantastic job, and thank you again for volunteering. Ms. Huff?
Board Member Rich?
Yes.
Board Member Hammond?
Yes.
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board President Wong?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Item number 8, E-rate 2000, year 20 network and wireless infrastructure projects at the district, Mayflower and Plymouth. Charles?
Good evening, President Wong, board members, cabinet, members of the audience. The Board of Education approved the agreement to upgrade our network and wireless infrastructure on April 26, 2017. This approval was contingent upon E-rate approval. As of today, E-rate approval is still pending. Before the summer, we had approximately 1,900 Chromebooks on our network. As of today, we're hovering around 2,500 Chromebooks on our network. Technology is currently reconfiguring our existing network to allow more devices on our existing network. If everything goes well, we project to have 3,360 Chromebooks on our network by the end of next week. But the more devices we add, it starts to slow down. This increase in the number of Chromebooks is an increase of about 75% just in Chromebooks alone. If we're talking total numbers, when you include laptops, iPads, other devices, we're looking at over 4,000 devices on our wireless network. To alleviate the strain on our current network, we're requesting the Board of Education to approve the projects at District Office, Mayflower, and Plymouth before E-rate approval. This will allow the district to support these two school sites with up-to-date wireless, freeing up resources to support the other school sites with our existing wireless. Once E-rate approves, the district can apply for cost reimbursement for the district office, Mayflower, and Plymouth. The amount for this would be approximately $175K upfront. After E-rate approval, the estimated reimbursement amount is approximately $128K. Estimated net cost to the district of $46K. Any questions?
I have a connectivity question. The network that we have, and I'm gonna use the high school as an example, is it open or is it closed?
It's a combination of both. So there's a closed portion that basically allows registration. So when you register a computer, you can get on. The issue we have is that with the system is that system does not allow any more registrations. And then there's a small portion, which is the guest network, which is an open portion. And what happens with that open portion right now, there's a limit of about 500 that I'm trying to alleviate and overcome, because the the first folks that get on are on. After that, you're bounced. And as a part of the reconfiguration part for the high school that we're looking at next week and working with the school site, we're actually looking to limit or possibly close that open part and just allow the registered Chromebooks on the network.
Are there any devices that are not MUSD devices connecting to it? Can I connect with my cell phone?
At the elementaries?
No.
Or at the high school? At the high school, you can, if you are one of the first 500.
How far does that signal reach?
it could potentially reach some of the homes.
So I can sit, okay.
I-
I bring this up for
Yeah.
a reason.
I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's accurate. When we put the system in originally with Jason, that was one of my concerns, was the bleed on how far would it go and who would be able to tap into our thing.
But even if you're on campus, Brian, with your cell phone, you're taking away the use from somebody that needs to attach with an MUSD piece of certified equipment. So if we all went on the campus and we all connected to the Wi-Fi, we're taking it away from a student who needs to be on that Wi-Fi. That's what I'm trying to find out. I don't know the answer, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, and part
But
of
you can bleed off, like what you're saying. If I can sit in my house and grab a signal, I think that we need to really look at that. Not as we're increasing our strength, we need to tighten that thing up so that I shouldn't walk on the campus and deprive a student of being able to connect their book.
So Rob's question is, the registered equipment, right, the closed-end equipment, does that always have 100% priority over the open?
correct.
So in Rob's example, if we had 500 people in the parking lot, would that impact registered equipment at the high school or on any other campus?
It will not impact the registration in that the registered devices will still connect. What it does impact is that it does slow it down.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, so it
Okay.
impacts it.
So there is an impact.
Correct.
And how dramatic of an impact is that? If 500 people came online at the same time that all the registered users at the high school needed to take testing, for example, what would the impact be to the speed?
That's kind of an art. It's kind of hard to explain, but roughly, if I were to guesstimate, let's say that the system can comfortably handle around 2,500, then you're talking about if you do the math, 25 divided by 500, that's the 20, is that 20%? Roughly, yeah. And part of the balance and the trickiness with that network is that there are teachers that bring in their own devices that are using the guest network. So I have to carefully make changes such that I can allow some of those teachers' devices on, but while also,
Then why don't they just register them or not use them?
because some of these teachers are using their personal laptops. They're not district-owned devices.
Do we want non-district owned equipment on our network?
The past policy has been,
The great thing about policy is it can be changed.
changed,
Do
correct.
we want non-district equipment on our network?
the way it's configured right now, I would recommend that you don't, just because when you have a non-district-owned property on our network, accessing our district resources, you have no idea if their antivirus is up to date. You have no idea what's on that computer. With the new wireless system, the security on that is much better in that it can actually do antivirus scans. With our current system, that capability is not there.
So if we approve this money, then we'll fix that problem at District Office Mayflower and Plymouth. Right? I'm not gonna fix it.
Yeah.
I hope you do.
What you would be doing with approving this is that you would be upgrading wireless. This is really to benefit the two elementary school sites. You just have to do the district office because we're the hub. But by using those two school sites, you're alleviating all of those school sites have a lot of Chromebooks because they're close to the future devices. So what you're alleviating, now you can spread it out over the rest of the district. That's why I strategically chose those two school sites.
But the security problem of unregistered devices that may or may not have up-to-date antivirus software, will that be alleviated at these campuses but not at the others?
Yes, it does, because what you do is now the Mayflower and the Plymouth computers, now you're registering it on the new network system. So now those registrations can now be deleted off our existing, And now we can register other devices from the other school sites.
But at the high school, we still have a security issue with unregistered devices that connect. Is that,
Well, it's draining.
It's draining, correct.
okay?
If you
And-
could, oh, I'm sorry, Ed.
And when we get the E-rate approval, then will that be enough money to go ahead and put the wireless in at all of our sites?
You're talking about the 175K or?
Well, you're saying that we're gonna put the money up front, and then we're
Correct.
gonna apply for E-rate. We've already applied for E-rate, right?
That's correct.
But the money's not here.
The money's not here.
So
That's
we would
correct.
front the money, and then at some point, we're gonna get reimbursed some amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Will that amount of money cover the rest of the work in the district that needs to be done?
What is estimated that will be needed to cover the rest of the district is approximately $190,000. What I'm asking is to move forward in paying upfront before the discount for these 3 school sites. And then we would ultimately be reimbursed for it, not the complete project.
I want to put this in reference really quick. This is a matter that we've already voted on, correct? We've already agreed to put this particular plan into action, right? We've already reviewed the overall plan and the estimated dollar amount. What we're looking to do at this point in time is to progress with the work before we've received the funds versus waiting until we've received the funds. Is that correct?
That's correct, and at only 3 sites, not the whole project.
So you're looking at a slimmed down, abbreviated installation until we receive the remaining portions of the funds.
That's correct.
But in order to do this initial piece, it's going to require approximately $175,000, which we've already discussed. That number relative to the entire dollar amount has not changed, is not going to increase or decrease because we're starting at a partial project versus an entire project, is it?
That's correct.
Okay. And then we're expected to receive a reimbursement of $129,000, which we've already applied for.
Correct.
So theoretically, we should have already gotten that money, but we all know how that goes. What is the expected date, if you have an idea, what is the time frame in which we're looking to receive our E-rate funds?
Well, how E-rate works is that there's 2 stages, and one is basically the internet approval, telecom, and E-rate actually just recently approved that on Monday, and that's called basically first category. And
does this fall in the first category?
It does not.
It does not.
So then the next category would be second category, which is what this falls under.
Okay.
They don't give us a timeline as to when it will be approved. What they do give us is not yet reviewed, under reviewed, and approved. We're actually at the next stage where it's under review. But that process can be a few weeks. It can sometimes be months, many, many months.
Okay.
And I'm going to go back to my, and
Please.
I understand that we're talking about the elementary schools, but there is a drain on our system someplace, and my assumption was going to be it's at the high school, because you have 1,600 students. I would submit you probably have 1,600 cell phones, at least, and other equipment that's there that everybody else has brought. You may have 2,000 other pieces of equipment that are not MUSD pieces of equipment on that campus that are pulling from our district. Am I wrong on my assumption?
That's correct.
Okay. That,
Charles.
That part is capped at 500.
I understand it's capped at 500, but if there's 2,000 people trying, 500 gets snapped up like this, and it's a drain from someplace. And that's why I brought it up, because what I'd like to see, I know we're not approving it tonight, I'd like to see in the next couple of weeks is, I want to know what that drain looks like. I hadn't really thought about it until I started reading this report. We have a significant problem sitting there that we could fix, because we can do things like not allow personal pieces of equipment to attach to our network. There's things that we could do. So maybe in the next couple of weeks, if possible, I would like to see a report on, and then we could, on that, and then see what the the difference in the speed would be if it were not there. I know it's going to be a guess, but let's see what the calculated guess would look like.
Charles, with regards to Board Member Hammond's comments, are you recommending that the teachers not use their personal tool? And also, if they don't use it based on what we're discussing, are you prepared to subsidize the tool that they need in the class?
I'm not recommending to block out teachers. So in trying to limit the guest network is to try to figure out which ones are the student devices and which one are the teacher devices. The difference between that guest network is that the way it's configured, if you're a teacher and you're on that network, it only gives you one access, and that's internet access. It actually blocks you from access to stuff like printers or server access. So from an instructional purpose, it usually meets most of the needs because our email is out in the cloud. A lot of things are out in the cloud, but stuff that is here on our network, they don't have access to. And for most of these teachers, they have a desktop computer already, so they need to print, they can just go to their desktop printer, for example.
Okay. The real question is, why, if you're a teacher, do you need to use your personal guest sign-in versus a registered piece of equipment that's already in your classroom?
Can't speak for a teacher, but if I was a teacher that was maybe issued a desktop, maybe I don't want to use the desktop all the time, right? So
too bad's my response.
Mm-hmm.
What else? What other reason would there be?
You can't take the desktop home, whereas you can take your personal device home.
The problem is we're spending $175,000 because we don't have bandwidth.
There you go.
Is that correct? I mean, to the bottom line, is that what we're doing?
That's what I hear.
Yeah, 175 upfront. We're
Up
expecting.
front, so that's a portion. And the reason we have to do this is because we're lacking bandwidth. Is that correct?
That's correct.
According to what Mr. Hammond asked, unregistered pieces of equipment are draining the bandwidth.
They're contributing to it.
They're contributing to the drain of the bandwidth. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I'm going to ask another question that pretty much piggybacks on what Rob asked. If you eliminated all of the guest passes, would there be enough bandwidth to deal with the classrooms?
I don't think there would be. And the reason why is because we've ordered well over 1,000 devices this past summer. We had 19 to begin with. I'm just talking about Chromebooks alone.
Sure.
And we're projecting about 3,360 Chromebooks by the end of next week. That's a big add.
Okay.
Is that all the Chromebooks, or will there still be some not on?
Excuse me?
Will the 3,360 Chromebooks are out there, is that all of them that we've added? I mean, is that a total of Chromebooks, or are there still carts out there that are not connected?
There might be a few, but what we're also going to have to set up too as well is Code to the Future devices, which are not Chromebooks. Those are laptops. So that's another 36 times 6, 200 something devices as well that we're going to have to set up.
Okay.
So when do you think everything will be set up? That's a side question.
No, no.
When is everything going to be set up?
Right now, we're planning to set up the Code to the Future. We just got the devices in, and we're planning to work this weekend on the Code to the Future devices. So we anticipate, if everything goes well, that the Code to the Future devices will be out end of next week. Okay. And then the problem of alleviating the network, we've had to figure out some workaround, and we've successfully figured out a workaround literally on Monday, and it was tested on Tuesday. So we started rolling them out today, and it's been successful. So we rolled out the workaround at Wild Rose today, and we're looking to do Monroe tomorrow. We're just doing all the schools one by one over the next week.
You know, part of my concern about these open lines, I actually have two, or there's a couple of reasons. One was the reason we've already talked about, taking the bandwidth down. The other is something that's been in the news very recently about Equifax getting hacked. anytime we have these open scenarios, I think that we're increasing our probability of running into a problem. I don't know what the problems are going to be, and nobody knows what the problems are going to be. But the more control we have over our access points, I think that the better off our security is going to be in general. My feeling with teachers or staff members using their own personal equipment is simply this. If they're in a classroom and if they're on campus and they're supposed to be teaching, then they should be using district equipment. If we don't have the equipment that they need to do their job, then I need to know about it, because we need to be on top of that. If they're using this for their own personal reasons, then that's fine. That's why they have a phone plan.
I just want to take a moment to say that what Mr. Bavakin said about teachers using the guest network was a supposition. We really don't know,
This
whether
goes
it's
with students as
teachers or
well.
students or
It
anybody else.
The argument goes with students as
We don't
well.
really know how widespread this is, but certainly to protect our network from any kind of outside sources is a priority for us, and one that I think Mr. Puvakin really needs to help lead us into identifying how to close it up.
I say teachers, but it applies to students as well. And the issue is, let me ask you this question. Of the 500 passes, how many days go by that there's always room? How quickly is that 500 taken? Instantly,
Probably
before
by-
school starts.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Okay.
the word's out.
It's all day long.
Mm-hmm.
This is maybe not the main issue. I don't know that the board has any question that we just opened up a brand new ribbon cutting for a computer magnet school. And we need to be able to provide all of the support possible within this district along those paths. So clearly this is something that has to happen. This specifically, but this conversation, I think, is a large conversation. As Ed has pointed out, I mean, this is only going to get larger. Our needs are going to get greater. And I think that as it gets larger, we have more responsibilities to make sure that it doesn't crash, that things don't go wrong, that things don't get hacked.
But didn't we already agree to the larger?
We did.
But I've forgotten the numbers. So could you refresh our memory, Charles, as to what we agreed to when we said replace the whole wireless system? What was the total bill for that?
The total bill for that is approximately $760,000.
And
After E-rate reimbursements, we are projected to be under $200,000.
so if we spend $174,000 now, that will be almost our total obligation to replace the whole system, and the rest of it will come from E-rate.
Correct.
Okay, so it's pay me now or pay me later. I mean, we can get started with our share up front, or we can wait for E-rate.
I think we got two topics here. I think we got the
Well,
approval
yeah.
for the E-rate in addition to the usage.
It was just sitting here, I did not put this together early. I was just listening and that, wait a minute, we are having a problem. We have a problem with people using the system that's not beneficial to the people. I think they're having a benefit, but I don't know if it's beneficial to the overall educational experience. Anybody who can get onto a system for free and access is a benefit, but if it's not, I just want to know what would happen if we took it off. How does our speed improve if we were to do something with it? I don't know that we want to do something with it, but I'd like to have the information that says it. There's common sense tells me if I have something drawing from it constantly all day long, then I'm not getting the maximum benefit from my program. I'm not getting it. I don't know what those numbers are, but I'm sure a way to find out.
And so we're gonna vote on this $174,000 now, and
Right.
Mr.
In the
Probak
next
is
couple of
gonna
weeks,
bring
deliver that to us.
that back to us in a couple of
critical
weeks,
piece of
right?
information that I would like to have.
Yeah.
Henceforward, that's the reason why I'm asking about your recommendations should the teachers stop. Based on that fact alone, using their own tools when adequately, we're supposed to be supplying the tools to them. So
So he's
that's
gonna
why it's
bring
two
all that
topics involved,
information
yeah.
back into her.
And it may, you know, I'm not living, I am not suggesting that it's a teacher or it's a student or a combination of teacher and student. It could be people that are living in proximity that can tap into it.
That's a good point.
And just get it for free. Like it's like a Monrovia High School hotspot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want to know.
Mhm.
Thank you, Charles.
You're welcome.
Any other comments or questions?
I move we spend the money.
I'll second.
Big spender 1 and 2. Any other comment? Any other comments or questions?
Oh, you have not begun to see how much I can spend.
We're going to cut you off at 175,000 tonight. Ms. Huff?
Board Member Hammond,
Yes.
Board Member Williams,
Absolutely, yes.
Board Member Gilliland,
Yes.
Board Member Rich.
Yes.
Board President Wong.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Item 9, pending board issues. Dr. Therosian.
President Wong, members of the board, we are moving through our regular reports. I do want to mention that in looking at the adult education update, which is scheduled for the fall annually, we will be changing that to annually in February so that we can get an update about our funding, which we would know more about in January each year. So rather than provide any information before we receive our funding, we thought it would be prudent to provide it after.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, additions, deletions? Hearing none, we'll move on to old business. Our next board meeting will be Wednesday, the 27th at 7 p.m. We still have a number of back-to-school nights. The next one being at CELC Thursday, the 14th. Do we have any other business to attend to? Hearing none, we will adjourn the regular Board of Education open session meeting at 9 o'clock.